This week on part 2 of the Real Housewives of New York reunion.
Taxes here. I pay taxes here. Most successful people live in multiple places, so don't tell me about where I live.
But you don't live in New York.
That's actually completely untrue. Are you the location police? Like, who are you?
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to it. We're going to be talking about the second and final part of the Real Housewives of New York Season 15 reunion. Let's get right into this. Okay, so there's actually a lot to talk about. So we pick up where we left off last week. Jessel is putting Brynn in her freaking place for putting it out there that Jessel told them that her ex-boyfriend was the love of her life. Now, that was a total lie. Jessel literally never said that. So Jessel's just telling her how devastated she was, distraught, when she and Pavit saw that play on TV. Because you got to keep in mind, that conversation that Brynn, Sai, and Erin had at the pool, Jessel didn't know about it until it aired. I feel really bad for Jessel. I'm glad that Jenna also jumped in to tell Brynn that she was wrong, dead wrong. Brynn still tries to justify it a bit, and that's why Jenna had to interject and say, just apologize. Like, don't spin it, just apologize. Brynn does end up apologizing and says that she wants to earn Jessel's trust back. I feel bad for Jessel, but props for her for standing her ground. Okay, moving on. They talk about Brynn telling Ubah, don't act the way you're acting. You're going to be a stereotypical angry black woman, and your man is not going to want you. She actually said that. Brynn said that was not her intention. She's sorry for offending her. She says, you told me that they were going to give Erin fair treatment because she's white. And then that's where Erin and Ubah both had to say, we never said that. That was never said. Brynn then says, I'm just protective of you. I want to protect you. Andy asks, why would you say Oliver wouldn't want to be with her if she acted a certain way? And Brynn says, I just want the world for her. I don't want her to allow me to F up something that's good in her life. Ubah says, listen, I'm going to marry this guy. He loves me. He brings me my tea to my bed. Brynn then says how she's biracial and her intentions were not bad. She says that she's definitely not had the same experience as Ubah. Then Ubah says that she's actually had great experiences all her life. She says that she gets free things and that she's treated very well. Ultimately, though, Ubah does accept Brynn's apology. Then they take a break. The group discusses Brynn a little bit and what's going on. Erin says that somebody should probably go check up on her because she is all alone. Jenna ends up doing it. Rebecca Minkoff also arrives at this time. So Jenna goes into Brynn's room. Brynn says that she feels dead inside. She says, I want to go hug Ubah so bad, but I'm afraid it's too late now. All of these people hate me. Jenna does baby her, and I get it, although she does tell her to apologize and, that her apologies are not really landing if she's not admitting to what she did. It was funny because meanwhile, Sai is over there in her dressing room with Raquel saying that Brynn deserves an Oscar. Because the way those tears just come out so conveniently is impressive. So after the lunch break, they return alongside with Rebecca. Rebecca looked good. There's a question about Brynn and Rebecca's little tension throughout the season. Rebecca says that she definitely noticed that Brynn was coming for her when Brynn made that comment about Nordstrom Rack. Brynn says, yeah, but in a moment like that, you should throw jabs back at me. Like, you should say, well, you sold Twitters at BravoCon. And I'm glad that Sai interjects and says that that feels very much like you're trying to produce a moment. Brynn says it's not about that. It's about her wanting to come to the show to promote her brand. And I get what Brynn is saying because they actually showed a clip where Rebecca does admit that's the only reason she came onto the show. But let's keep it real. Don't all housewives use the show to promote their brand? Like, come on. Andy asks Rebecca what did she think when Sai said on a podcast that she was boring. Becky says that after that happened, Sai did call her to clarify, and Rebecca believed her, but then she heard Sai double down on it in her confessional. Sai just says to her, you're so nice. Erin then says, actually, she's not. You're not a nice person. It's all a facade. I was just thinking, what the hell happened between these two? So Erin says that Rebecca called me that telling me that she didn't like the way that I brought up her Judaism and Scientology religions. She said that she didn't like my tone, even though my question had been approved. The next day, Rebecca texts me because an episode with my dad aired. She then apologized for coming at me because she realized I was going through a hard time. Andy says, "Oh, okay, well, that was nice." Erin then says, "But when another episode of my dad came on, she never checked on me." Rebecca says, "Check your phone log." I did. Erin says that to Rebecca, "You are the most self-involved human I've ever met." She says, "All you talk about is your bags and Scientology." Erin says, "My dad died. I had an abortion. You never checked up on me." You guys, not to be insensitive, but how is that Rebecca's fault? Rebecca says, "I did reach out to you. When he was sick and when he passed away, I sent you a poem." And they show the messages. She's right. And then Erin tries to, like, I don't know, shade the poem, like, "Oh, a poem." Erin, a poem is actually a very nice thing to send in hard times. So what are you even complaining about? Erin then says that Rebecca was mad about the way the prank was also executed. But Andy says that he wants to go back to something that Erin said earlier about her having an approved language question. Erin says, "Well, I actually asked her if I could ask that specific question on camera, and that's why I don't know why she's mad." Rebecca says, "I'm not mad about the question you asked. I'm mad about the thing that you said in your confessional." Erin says, "That's how confessionals work. You have to say how you feel in the moment." And I get that. I could understand that from Erin's side. Andy then himself starts to ask about Scientology. She again says what she's been saying this whole season. She practices both being Jewish and being a Scientologist. Andy asks if the ladies regret what they said about Scientology in the show. Jessel says that she and Raquel went to have dinner with Rebecca a few weeks ago and that she actually answered a lot of their questions. Andy is then sort of being a little too aggressive with his question. In my view, he says, "Well, we're on a reality show. They can ask you whatever they want." And Rebecca says, "This subject has been so disrespected with me on this show. It's a personal belief. It's helped me overcome depression, anxiety, being a mom, having the stress of having to deal with a huge company and be attacked. It's too much." Andy and Erin, you should know how it feels to be attacked for your beliefs, especially right now. And I think she was talking about them being Jewish. I got what she was saying. Erin says, "Well, what did I say that you felt was disrespectful?" And Rebecca says, again, it was the tone in which it was said. And Ubah interjects a little and says that I think Rebecca feels like maybe she came into the show already being judged for being in Scientology. Everyone says, but she didn't want to discuss it. And then even Jenna says, "Yeah, I feel like it was a closed subject." And Andy says, "What was it that made you feel so offended?" And Rebecca says, I don't know, maybe being called a salesperson trying to sell snake oil." She's referring to Brynn because Brynn said that. She says to Brynn, "You didn't even bother to get to know me, but you made that comment." Then that's where Brynn starts like grasping at straws, saying, "Well, you live in Florida. You don't even live here full time." And Rebecca says, "I live in both places. I have homes in both. Are you the location police? Are you tracking my whereabouts?" For some reason, that reminded me of Nene saying to Kim, "Are you the parking meter lady? I can park wherever I want to." Andy reads a question where they called her religion a cult. Rebecca says that the word cult is bigoted, that if this were any other religion, she wouldn't be accused of being in a cult. Anyway, they keep chastising her about not talking about it. Before she leaves, Rebecca does apologize to Erin for not reaching out more. Erin appreciates it. She also apologizes for the prank if it was insensitive for those struggling with infertility because she definitely understands. And that was it. Now, let me tell you, it was a bit much for me. My way of thinking is this: do I respect her particular religion? No, I don't respect it. I don't think it's correct. Do I respect that that is her religion? Hell yeah, because she's her own person, you guys. If she wants to come up with a religion tomorrow where she's going to worship her cat, I don't care. I'm going to respect that that is her religion. Everybody has different religions. Erin is Jewish. Ubah is Muslim. I'm sure maybe one of them is Catholic. It is what it is. I will give her props because they were all coming for her. I also loved the shady things she said. For example, when Brynn was talking about, "You live in Florida," Rebecca says, "Yeah, most successful people live in multiple places." But that was it for Rebecca Minkoff. By the way, she announced her departure on Instagram. maybe she wasn't the most interesting, but props to her for trying something new. And you know what? She's got $1 million company. She'll be fine. Okay, moving on, they get into the Puerto Rico of it all. Also, didn't they have in the old Real Housewives of New York, didn't they have what they called the Scary Island trip? I think this Puerto Rico, like this was the Scary Island trip. So they take a look at all the drama that happened, especially that last night. So then they begin with the smallest problems. Raquel and Ubah get into it. Raquel didn't like the way Ubah acted with certain things, for example, having to choose the rooms. Rebecca was also very offended with Ubah calling Puerto Rico's water disgusting. Ubah said that she wasn't speaking about the ocean and that it was nothing against Puerto Rico. Raquel says, but you screamed to them and said, don't get into the water. Ubah was doubling down. Sai says, it just felt a little different for us because, yeah, we're Puerto Ricans and Puerto Rican island has gone through a lot. And we don't want the people to think that our beaches are nasty. I don't think Ubah gets it. It was a lot of doubling down, and that's the only thing. I'm not gonna go over it because I already talked about it in the episode when it happened. I totally disagree with Ubah. I didn't think it was appropriate to say that, and I don't like that she's not willing to listen to the other ones when it comes to this. So that definitely shows a little bit of a character flaw in her side, but at the same time, I don't think there was any malicious intent in her. So it is what it is. They talk about Jenna and her pubic hair, which I will not be discussing because that's too much. Andy then brings up how the women said that they were so worried and anxious bringing things up to Ubah because of how she'll react. Ubah says, well, I'm sorry if my authenticity makes you all uncomfortable. Oh, period. The other woman interjects. Ubah says, continue being afraid. Continue being afraid. Sai says that it's also about Ubah being very long-winded. Erin tries to talk, and Ubah says, of course you have an issue. Go ahead. Erin says, a lot of the times you assume things for the worst. Andy asks Raquel, what does she think? Raquel says, I get it. I mean, when I want to go talk to her, Sai, I think, came in to kind of, calm the situation down. But the first thing Ubah thought was, oh, the two Puerto Ricans are coming here to attack me. Andy says to Ubah, the point is that your friends need to censor themselves because they're afraid of your reaction. That's not a healthy friendship. Ubah says, oh well, continue to be afraid. I wish I could tell you I care, but I don't. Ubah doesn't care, okay? Moving on, I'm glad Andy calls Erin out because Erin sat there and told Jessel that she never talked bad about her at the pool, but she absolutely did. All three of them did. Erin says, I, uh, I guess I was. I'm very sorry. But when it got intense, I did say I felt bad. Ubah says, no, you do not get a sticker for that. And you know what made me even more mad watching? You switched the conversation, adding, oh, her husband called you a bitch. So you were adding fuel to the fire. Erin at this point is mad. She says to Ubah, I've been nothing but a good friend to you. You assumed the worst in me. They then talk about the infamous, I don't know if you slept with someone to get this job comment. Ubah says she was mad and she apologizes. She does regret saying it, especially now knowing what she knows. Brynn accepts the apology and then they get into the accusation. So Brynn starts to tell a story. So before BravoCon, she says that a family member of hers purchased a weapon to hurt themselves. And she was very close to Ubah at the time, and she talked to Ubah a lot of the time. And Brynn says that in a particular phone call that she had with Ubah, she remembers saying, oh, why does this keep happening to me in my childhood? I've been beat up, I was raped. She says that she was word bombing it all and was saying, why does this keep happening to me? Brynn says, but that night I told everyone to her defense, maybe she didn't hear. And that's when Erin and Sai have to interject again and say, we are not denying what you said happened to you happened, but you did not say that. You did not say to her defense, maybe she didn't hear that. You didn't say that. Brynn says, yes, I did. And I felt no love that night. Y'all kept asking me how rich the guy was. And that's where they all have to join in and say, that is not true. Jenna says, you told us that she might not have clocked it, and that felt careless. Brynn says, y'all are holding me accountable for one single little word. I was hurt. Why didn't Ubah comfort me? Huh? Okay, Brynn is actually crazy, you guys. Raquel says, we all believed you. We believed you so much to the point we were all mad at Ubah on your behalf. Jenna says, yeah, like I was in tears. None of us wanted to eat. We were all so distraught that you shared that. So, but when Ubah is crying, she says that she remembers the phone call, but Brynn never said what she claims she said. Ubah says, in the moment, I wanted you to remind me because maybe I had forgotten. Brynn says, you chased me down the hall. And Ubah says, I walked towards you and I heard what you said to her. So apparently, Brynn texted Erin that night saying that Ubah was violent towards her. So she says, I was violent towards you? Was I? She says that since the day she's met Brynn, she's always been her friend. And for you to go tell Jenna and Raquel that is just unbelievable. I love what Sai says to Brynn. She says, you weaponized your experience for the downfall of a friend. Brynn is still crying. She's still lying too. They're all calling her out. Brynn said, this is getting to be too much. Ubah says, listen, Brynn, at the end of the day, I forgive you, but I will never be your friend. I want nothing to do with you. I loved you. I wanted your friendship, but I want to go back to when I didn't even know who the F you were. Brynn then she gets the last word, and even with getting the last word, you guys, she's still lying. She says, nobody reached out to me. And Jen and Erin said, no, we did. We both did. And Brynn's like, oh, well, I stopped because I needed a moment. Oh my gosh. Brynn says, y'all don't want to believe me. Y'all are doing too much. She even says that she thinks some of them might not even believe that anything happened to her at all. So she's still crying. They take a break. I guess Ubah must have felt bad, so she goes to hug Brynn. As they're taking their last break, Brynn and Ubah stay to talk. Brynn says, I wanted to call you. I'm sorry. I apologize. I love you. And Ubah falls for it. As far as Sai, she's in the dressing room saying that she never wants to be that girl's friend again, referring to Brynn. Ubah tells Brynn that she needs to apologize to the other girls. Raquel ends up going to apologize to Brynn. I don't really think she was apologizing to Brynn so much. I think it was more of like a, I'm here for you, because I think it kind of hit close to home for Raquel. So then they get together for their final thoughts. Sai says that she really loves Erin and she wants to apologize for talking a lot of things against her. Ubah does the same. They're apologizing because in the season they called Erin a gaslighter, which I don't know why they're apologizing because she absolutely is. Jenna says that she doesn't want Brynn to think that they don't love her. Brynn does apologize to Ubah and Jessel in particular, and she says that she wants to be a better friend. Instead of having drinks, they have a parlova, they all share it, and that was a wrap on season 15. You guys, that was exhausting. You know that gif of Viola Davis when she's grabbing her purse and leaving? That's how I felt about this reunion. I cannot believe that these women, once again, were manipulated by Brynn. Now, all of them have forgiven her because I also got to say at the end, I was really proud of Sai for standing her ground. At the end, though, she does end up hugging Brynn. Listen, forgiveness is awesome. I love it. Very Christian. But I was a little disappointed, to be honest, because I don't know. You know what? At this point, if they want to let Brynn back in their lives, go ahead. She's gonna continue to do the same BS. She does not need to be on the show. She needs to be on a therapy couch. But it's y'all's choice. I'm disappointed in it, but it is what it is. Were y'all surprised? Let me know. Also, you guys, as y'all let me know in the comments what your thoughts were about this reunion and about them forgiving Brynn. I also want to ask y'all, what do y'all want to see next season? Who should stay? Who should go? I know Andy Cohen for some reason has he's been so firm on the fact that he will not bring old New York housewives back. But if it were up to me, I would say keep Jessel, keep Raquel, keep Sai. As much as I don't like her, I guess keep Erin because we need somebody to shade, and bring back Dorinda, Sonia, and Luann. Everybody else can get the hell out. But that's my opinion. Let me know what your thoughts are. You guys, this was a interesting season. really boring season, interesting reunion, but disappointing at the end. So thank you guys so much for the ones that have been watching my recap since the first episode. I truly appreciate it, and I thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one.